So hello everybody. If you haven't noticed already, so I switched around some things on my YouTube channel. I am very excited about it because a bunch of people have Mystery Monday series. So I decided to move Mystery Monday to Tuesday and start calling it Tudor Mansion. So yes. So this is my, it's pretty much the same thing as Mystery Monday. It's just going to be on Tuesdays from now on. I am so excited about it. It's going to be super cool. I have some really cool stuff coming up the rest of the year. Today you get you get like two different ones. And so yeah, and then next week we're going to kind of pick up where we left off. Yes. So make sure after this video that you check out the next one. First today I'm going to be talking about the Deeper channel. Now this channel is also dubbed the Angler Killer. I am, however, operating under the belief that it is an ARG. The Deeper channel is this very interesting, encrypted, kind of abstract YouTube channel with a ton of videos that have been uploaded, deleted, re-uploaded, all this crazy stuff. And there are a bunch of ciphers within the videos that kind of lead to a bunch of real-world unsolved murders. And the reason I wanted to talk about this channel in particular is I live probably like 20 minutes away from where all of these unsolved murders take place that are connected to this channel, so that's cool. I love that. So yeah, the point of this video isn't necessarily to do a recap of who the Deeper channel is and what it is, but to kind of talk about it in the broader context of the online community. So yes, that is what we're going to be discussing today. So I'm operating under the belief that the Deeper channel is an ARG because, one, it just shows all the signs of an ARG, like with all the super encrypted coded messages and like the very abstract nature of the videos being uploaded and just the coding. Like, I mean, it just screams ARG to me. And in addition to this, I did read somewhere, I could not find it, if I found it I'll put it in the sources down below, I did read somewhere that it wasn't a Zodiac killer situation because the police had investigated and looked into the channel in relation to these cases, and they didn't find any like connections or anything like that. So just keep that in mind as we go along here. I don't know if that's 100% confirmed. I mean, I didn't call the police station, but I did read that the police did look into this and did not find anything further to investigate. So yeah. So the channel kind of operates in this 3-act structure to its videos. A lot of its earlier videos kind of seem like a preamble to these murders. A lot of the earlier videos are very old 70s quality. Now it does kind of look like just effects overlaid onto videos. It doesn't necessarily look like genuine 70s like film real stock videos, but so then it kind of moves into from a like before the murders kind of like wanting to commit murders act into the second act, which is like the actual killings in and of themselves, and then the third act is kind of sort of as Rainbot described, kind of a cleaning up, and it kind of moves into more digital content. It moves into stuff that is a lot more clearly shot today and clearly shot in more not more modern because the 70s wasn't that long ago, but like clearly shot post 2000s. So there are 4 cases that are in connection with the Deeper channel, and I'm just going to kind of go over those cases right now. Now, in terms of an ARG, these cases definitely add stakes to the story, because I mean the idea that it's a murderer trying to like code and encrypt things to the public, it almost screams Zodiac killer, where there's a lot of messages being interlaid, and there's a lot of it's kind of like the traditional serial killer wanting attention to another degree, because there's a serial killer actively seeking media attention, you know? So yeah, that's a thing to keep in mind. I am going to go over a bit of details on these cases. You can access them. The Colorado Bureau of Investigation has like pages for them, so that's going to be in the description box down below. Now 3 of them are homicides and only 1 is a missing persons case. So the first case is Stephanie. Now all of these women are brought to the surface in the Deeper channel because there are, I don't know the specific ciphers, I'm gonna be completely honest. My first script for this video kind of like relied on like going through all the ciphers and blah blah blah, but I'm not the one. I'm not the one. So there were hidden messages within all of the videos that led to all of these women. All of these women were mentioned by name in the Deeper channel through a bunch of coding. So just know that. Rainbot covers the coding a little bit more, and her video is linked in the description box, so yes. So the first case is Stephanie Ann Bauman. It is a homicide and it is open. Her homicide occurred on October 28th of 1980. Now on October 28th, 1980, the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office was dispatched to County Road 173. They discovered the body of 15-year-old Stephanie Bauman, and she was left lying in a ditch, and she died of hypothermia. Now, she is reported to have ran away a little bit 2 weeks before her case, and she kind of was like just jumping from house to house. There isn't a ton more information in terms of suspects and things like that. So the next case is Darcy Anderson. Now this was also a homicide, and the date was December 22nd, 1986. Now 24-year-old Darcy would wake up early to go to work on a bakery. On December 17th, Darcy was reported missing and was last seen in her Castle Rock home. 5 days later, Anderson's body was found. She had been stuffed into the trunk of her own car, which was located within a muddy alley near West Jewel Avenue and Bannock Street in Denver. So now, if you don't know Colorado like landscape, now Denver and Colorado Springs, particularly this area of Colorado Springs that the Deeper Channel like calls reference to, it's about 2 hours away. They're 2 hours away from each other, and that's like the edges, that's like getting to the edges of both of these places is 2 hours away. So they could be anywhere from 2 hours to 3 hours away depending on where specifically they are. So the place that Deeper always talks about is a specific location in Colorado named Calhan, or it's called Calhan, Colorado. And it's just a very flat land. There's a ton of farms, my friend has a house out there, and it's just like every single property has like a ton of acres, and the neighbors are very far apart. And Denver, you know, it's just like the big city in Colorado. So they're already this is also leading me to believe that it's more of an ARG, just because I think the two different areas, like it doesn't make sense for a killer who is out kind of in this very like rural area to suddenly go kill somebody in the city and still leave their body there. Like that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, so just keep that in mind. So the next case that was called attention to is the missing persons case, and that is Edith Bernice Lenhers. Now this case is open as well. The incident date is November 17th of 1995. On November 17th, 1995, 38-year-old Edith was supposed to arrive at the home of a friend and never did. When she didn't arrive, her family members reported her missing. Now, she had a medical condition involving her heart and was on medication for it, and she had just given birth to a child right before her disappearance. Now, this happened in Colorado Springs. There isn't specific information as to whether it happened near the Colorado Springs city area or out in more rural area like Calhan or near Calhan, so the fourth case and the final case that is brought up so far in the Deeper Channel is Karen Denise Aguilera. This was May 10th, 1988. Now Karen D. Aguilera, 23-year-old, was last seen on September 17th, 1987. On May 10th, 1988, her body was found in a field near Curtis Road and Falcon Highway. Now, this case happens like right where the Deeper Channel always points towards. Now, I say the Deeper Channel points towards this because the Deeper Channel has a lot of videos where it's very overtly in that area. There is a lot of footage shot on the Deeper Channel that is shot on Curtis Road or near Curtis Road. And there were like, I don't know, there's like coordinates and like a bunch of codes and like all this stuff, and it's just, you know, it's a time. To kind of lead off into the question, because I want this video to kind of be a discussion more than anything. Now, do you think that the Deeper Channel is a hoax or an ARG? I don't necessarily think it's a hoax. I don't think it's somebody trying to pretend that they're the killer in a way where they're like, oh, I'm the killer, you know? So, yeah. So it seems like more of an ARG in that it feels like they're stepping into a murderer's shoes in a way that's not seeking consequence, I guess, if that makes sense. So if it is an ARG, or if you're under the belief that it's an ARG, now is it okay to use open cases? All four of these cases are open and are unsolved. So, you know, it's a difficult discussion because it's like, is it bringing awareness to these cases, or is it just kind of taking away awareness through this whole spectacle of this channel being creepy and this channel maybe being the killer and all this stuff. So what do you think about that? And you know, so kind of a two-tone question. Do you think it's an ARG? If so, is it okay to use these real cases, and what's the point of using these real cases in an ARG? Like, why not create an entire story where it's everything is completely fabricated, like Teletubby Fact? So the whole idea of stepping into a murderer's shoes is really interesting in the new age of social media, because I mean, you've had that from you've had this whole fascination with murderers and with serial killers to a point where people have always kind of wanted to step into people's shoes. You always hear, like in West Memphis 3, you have a kind of systematic stepping into the shoes of a murderer, because you have Jesse Miskelly, who is kind of bullied by police into confessing for these murders that he did not commit, and, you know, kind of just needing to step into the killer's shoes because he's feeling forced to do that systematically by police. Whereas you have something like John Bonet, where it's kind of more psychological, and John Mark Carr just confesses to the crime because he just has a psychological need to feel that he is the murderer, which is really interesting. And I'm not sure psychologically like what that means, or psychologically how that happens, so I'm not going to pretend I do. But I think it's really interesting that stepping into a murderer's shoes is kind of taken a step further than that in this new age. It's almost like ARGs kind of create this new outlet for us to express our fascination with murders, and with really creepy scenarios, and with really like scary, morbid topics. Now, you know, I think it goes further, it goes a step further than watching a movie about a killer, you know, because there's still this air of reality to it that I don't think you necessarily get with a film. With a film you can have a suspended belief, but when you're experiencing an ARG, there's this sense of, oh my god, is this real? Is this really happening? Am I really watching the crazy like murders and ramblings of just like a crazy person who just hasn't been caught, you know? So it's really interesting, kind of expressing that stepping into a murderer's shoes from the perspective of an ARG. And I don't necessarily know if I feel comfortable saying one way or the other, if I agree or disagree in using these cases that are unsolved. Because on one hand, it is bringing awareness to those cases, but it's bringing awareness to those cases from what I've seen in more of a spectacle way, where I don't think necessarily much is being contributed to the cases in and of themselves through the deeper channel. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoy the other video for Tudor Mansion. What could it be? You're gonna have to go see. But yeah, I'm really excited. I am moving to a lot more days on my channel for filming, so yes, I'm so excited to be here making more things, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you so much. I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Every time we touch, your hands are colder, colder. There's no beating coming from your wooden chest. Frozen grin, a mannequin. When I get closer, I can see the strings that underneath your vest.